Hello there. Good to see you all again. Glad to see that crypt full of skeletons wasn't enough to put you all down in the dirt. Always nice to have repeat customers. Good for business and getting the word out. You're in luck. I was just about to start a fresh batch of hot spiced cider. Why don't you come on in? Have a seat. I'll show you everything you need to make it. This is a simpler recipe than the stew I had you made last time you were in here, so don't worry too much. You should be able to make it the next time you're making something else. It only takes about 40-50 minutes to make. And don't worry about tracking in any dirt. That's what I hire my assistant to deal with. Alright, let's get started. Here's everything you're going to need. An orange. Doesn't particularly matter the size or kind. Some whole cloves. Allspice berries. You should be able to find these at a bulk foods or health store near you. They're not sold in your average grocery store, so you may have to look around a little bit. Some cinnamon sticks. Apple cider or unsweetened apple juice. Some pure cranberry juice. You can use cranberry cocktail, but it'll turn out a lot sweeter than it otherwise would be, and in my opinion, a little bit too sweet. So try and get pure cranberry juice if you can. Some brown sugar. A pinch of salt. Some vanilla extract. And a few cranberries. Fresh is preferable, but well, you can't always get fresh cranberries in your area, so warmed up frozen ones will be fine. Alright, let's get to the first few steps. For the first step, you're going to need a vegetable peeler, and you're going to peel the zest from the orange, which is the outer layer of skin, into about 6 wide strips. Just like that. You're going to set aside 4 of these strips, and keep 2 of them. Alright. As for the orange itself, you should go ahead and eat that on your own afterwards. That's all we're going to be needing the orange for. But don't let it go to waste. Next up, you're going to take your cloves, remove about 8 of them from the package, and you're going to go ahead and press those into the 2 pieces of zest you have, and close them up. And just set those aside. For this next step, you're going to need either a mortar and pestle or a garlic crusher. Take your allspice berries, get about a teaspoon of them, and you're going to crush them until they're coarsely ground. You don't want them to be too fine, just split them up into smallish pieces. And be careful while you're doing this. Once again, allspice is toxic to quite a few pets, so just be careful you're not getting this everywhere. That has a lovely smell to it. Alright, go ahead and set that aside. Next, you'll need 2 cinnamon sticks. Go ahead and take them out of the package. And you're going to take them and just split them into a few separate pieces. You should be able to do this with your hands. There we are. Alright, let's head over to the stove, where we'll start the first process of actually heating up the ingredients. Heading over to the oven, we're going to set the heat to a medium-high, 6 or 7, and you're going to need either a pot or a high-walled saucepan for this. We'll take our cinnamon sticks and allspice and put it into the pot. After that, you'll take a spoon, distribute it out over the surface of the pot as much as you can, and we're going to let that sit for about 2 minutes until it gets aromatic, and you can really smell the spices and cinnamon on the air. We just want to warm it up. Try not to burn it. Once you've let that warm up for a few minutes, you're going to add 3 cups of the apple juice or apple cider, and 2 cups of the cranberry juice. At this stage, you're also going to add the orange zest with the cloves in them. Just drop them in. And finally, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Give it a good stir, making sure that you get the brown sugar to melt and dissolve into the water. And once it's incorporated, turn the heat down to a medium low, around 4 or 5. Put the lid on, and we're going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Alright, after you've stirred it a couple times over the last 20 minutes, turn off the heat, take it off the burner, and let it sit for about another 20 minutes to really let the spices and the cinnamon steep into the liquid. While we let it do that, why don't we talk a little bit about the history of this dish? I think you might be interested in it. Now then, this drink has become ubiquitous across all of Mythica, particularly in the colder northern nations. However, that is not where it was first made, contrary to your intuition. Rather, it was the gnomes and their glittering gem-studded hills that first contrived it. A couple of centuries ago, a young gnomish woman named Cynthia Pepperpot first made it, for a coming-of-age ceremony for her 3 triplet sons. Extracting the juice from starshine apples, which only grow around Starshard Bay, she mixed it with spices and berries that grow natively in the region, and served it to her family. Realizing what a gold mine she had struck, the triplets used their inheritance to set up a business dedicated to mass-producing and bottling the concoction that is still operated by that same family to this day. The Pepperpots became enormously wealthy, and it is said you cannot find an apple tree south of the border with Brocane that wasn't planted by their hands, though that is of course ridiculous. It is also used as a cure-all for ailments of all sorts, from brittle bone to lung rot. I can personally attest, however, that the sickness it cures with the most reliability is a dour mood, particularly if you splash a little bit of vodka into it. But, enough talk. It's steeped for long enough. Once you've let it steep for 20 minutes, you're going to take a fine mesh strainer, set it over a heat-proof bowl, and if you have it, though it's not essential, take some cheesecloth and spread it out over top. Then, take your pot and pour it through the cloth into the bowl. Let it drain for a minute or so, and once it has, discard the solids, and we're going to return the filtered liquid into the pot. Once you've strained it, we're going to return it into the pot. Go ahead and set the heat to medium, and we're going to let it simmer. And once you have it at a nice low simmer, you're going to take some vanilla extract, a 1/4 teaspoonful, and you're going to add that into the pot. Well now, once you've let it steep, we're going to go ahead and take it off of the oven. Get yourself a ladle and glass, preferably pre-warmed so you don't go ahead and shatter it. And we're going to ladle out a cup's worth, or however much your little heart really desires. Ooh, that smells heavenly. For the last step, we're going to take a piece of garnish that we saved from the beginning. Go ahead and toss that in. And as a final touch, just a few cranberries. And there we have it. Hot, spiced Gnomish cider. Let's have a taste. Words cannot express. Sweet and sour in equal measure. Just the right amount of tartness. The spices form layers of flavor that cling to your tongue, but not unpleasantly. The orange zest adds just a hint of citrus. I can see why this has become so popular. I dare say even that it might be my favorite drink. But don't take my word for it. Go ahead and pour yourself a glass. See how you like it. Thank you all again for stopping by once more. Always good to see you after a mission, and I hope you come back after your next one. Stay fed. Stay hydrated. We'll see what we're making next time. We'll keep it a surprise. I'm Benny the Barkeep. Stay safe out there, and cheers.